Claudia Moloney-MacDonald, we're finally coming back to Sandy Park. We've played one game and now we're going to play Gloucester-Hartpury. How are you feeling about coming home?
Yeah, really, really excited. I think there's been such an excitement since coming back to club. I think sometimes it can be really hard, you come off the back of a World Cup, you come into club, but for us anyway, I think it's just been amazing to be back at home. For me, I like being back in my own bed. A bit of normality, a bit of routine. And then, our fans have been incredible. They were amazing all of last season. They've showed up now for several years in a row. And then through the World Cup, it was incredible. Obviously, we didn't get to play here, but I know Clee and lots of our other players did get to play here through the World Cup. And they only had the most amazing compliments for the vibe and the atmosphere that was created here. So hopefully we can reenact or recreate at least a feeling of that for our first Prem game back.
I wish you could have seen it because it was full and it was lots of different fans, people we knew, people we didn't know, people with drums, people with headgear on. It was just so fantastic, and I think there is a difference between the crowd that comes and watches a men's game and the crowd that comes to a women's game. Would you agree? Because you've been to both, obviously.
Yeah, I think to be honest, I think the fans in Exeter that come to either of the Sandy Park games are amazing. But what I would say during the World Cup was the atmosphere at any stadium, and I was lucky enough to go to some of Ireland's games the day after the England games. The atmosphere was amazing, and it was so friendly and so vibrant. There was just this genuine excitement for what was happening on the pitch. I know it was something that Eddie Jones spoke about a few years ago, about not wanting any Mexican waves because people are really paying attention to the rugby, and I felt that was actually the case. There was a couple of times where I was in the crowds, I was looking around, and every face was fixed on the pitch and what was happening on the pitch, and so engaged with what was happening. I think that's credit to the product that's been put out on the pitch by the players too. So yeah, I think it does have a slightly different energy to it. It's really family friendly. It's a young crowd. I think it's an exciting crowd. So yeah, I'm excited to see what noise we make for our game against Gloucester.
In terms of product on the pitch, I mean, if people have watched Rugby World Cup games, they think, yeah, I like a bit of that. But the product on the pitch for PWR is just as good, right?
Yeah, I think I spoke to someone just a few days ago, and they said there was over 120 World Cup players playing in the PWR this season, something crazy like that, which is mental. So I don't know, if you've tuned in for the first time and you've watched the World Cup and you've spotted a few players that you like, and whether that's because of the way they play, it's the country they play for, or it's their backstory that you kind of can see parallels with your own with, then you can go and watch those players still in the PWR, which I think is really exciting. I think that's the beauty of having had the World Cup in England, was that we have this natural roll straight into the PWR. You don't miss out on anything. You just turn up to your local stadium and you get to see whether it's Maud Muir, the rampaging prop that you love to watch, or whether it's, Sophie de Goody from Canada also playing here, or whoever it is. There are so many amazing players playing in the PWR that you can go and watch week in, week out.
I mean, obviously for us, we're very proud of our 2 Red Roses, but we actually have a very cosmopolitan team. We have, players from all sorts of nations. We had 12 players in the World Cup. So they could literally come and see players from all sorts of countries coming to watch us, right?
Yeah, I think that's one of the bits that drew me to Chiefs in the first place, several years ago, whenever it was when I first joined. I think in my 4th season now. But what drew me here was the kind of cultural hot pot that we've created. You've got players from all over the world that are experienced and have been impressioned, I guess, by so many different coaching styles, so many different philosophies and beliefs around how to play the game, how to see space. So many different ideas all sort of coming together and merging, and you get this sort of, I don't know, I guess this variance that we kind of try and play with as Chiefs at Sandy Park. So I think it's really amazing to be able to play with so many different players from across the world. And that's not also to ignore the amazing, we have so many incredibly talented young players that are from here, or that have gone to Exeter University, or have grown up 5 minutes down the road from here, that have looked up to the Exeter Chiefs for their entire life and now get to walk out onto Sandy Park as an Exeter Chief themselves. So it is, yes, absolutely, we have the internationals coming in. Yes, we have homegrown talent, but we also have this amazing cohort of young players also coming through, and they're the stars of the future. And I think that's the beauty of the game at the moment, that there's so much competition at international level, but at club level too, with so much competition for the shirt.
So I reckon Saturday we'll be getting a Claudia special jump up in the air as we run out onto the pitch to celebrate.
That's always the case, yeah. I don't know where that really came from, but yeah, I guess it's just a final little spurt of energy to ramp me up ready for the game. So yeah, there'll be one of those.
And if this camera was a person who is at home thinking of coming to Sandy Park on Saturday, what would you say to them?
I would say I'm yet to find somebody that has come to a women's game of rugby and walked away saying they didn't enjoy it. I think the biggest obstacle we often face is just getting people through the doors. But once you're through the doors, I promise you, you will enjoy yourself. You're going to have a great time. There's great food, there's great atmosphere, there's great people, there's a great product on the pitch. And the other fans around you are super, super nice and welcoming. I think that's the kind of beauty of it. So they'll also teach you the rules if that's what you need, because it is a bit of a complicated game. So yeah, give it a go. Come on down. I promise you, you're going to enjoy it.